Coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
Okay, a shark. I don't want to box a shark.
But if your life depended upon it and it was coming at you, you'd punch it in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it was near you in any way, approaching you in a threatening manner.
But I don't want a staged boxing match with a shark.
No.
But a kangaroo or a horse
or a
peacock.
I would box with a shark if it was like extreme shark boxing.
It's the most ridiculous.
Like a cage match.
Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every single week chooses a popular idiom to take a shallow but hopefully comedic and once in a while even interesting dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but we're also going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on.
My name is
Jurassic Mark. Can you not hear anything? You're 3 here.
Maybe that's what's going on. Checkity check. Oh, that's way better. Maybe going deaf.
It might have got bumped.
Ready?
Yep.
So we'll cut off a minute. Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every single week chooses a popular saying to take a shallow but hopefully comedic and even once in a while interesting dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but we'll also use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark.
And I'm Skinny.
How are you, my brother?
Amazing. All the time, every day, all day.
All day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. Just was staring at this delicious cup of coffee, thinking about how much I'm actually enjoying this day.
Okay. And is the coffee the reason for that? Or are you just having an all-around good day?
I'm having a good day, but then, every once in a while, just a good cup of coffee just gets things going. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hate coffee.
Oh, yeah. What do you think it is? Does it get your heart racing?
No, nothing. It's a terrible, bitter, awful taste.
Huh.
But I do like the smell of it in the room.
But just not on the tongue.
No, that's a terrible, bitter, awful taste.
Weird.
I could describe it like a terrible, bitter, awful taste.
I don't know that it's bitter. I don't think of it that way.
I don't know. It's awful and terrible. I'll take the word bitter out.
Really
Does that
wish
help?
you'd share how you really feel once in a while.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Stop holding back.
I'm not a picky eater. Like,
that's true.
I eat everything, but coffee.
You're probably saving yourself literally thousands of dollars over a lifetime by not being into coffee.
Being a gourmet coffee drinker.
But it's just one of those things. But anyways,
I'm glad you like it.
Great week. I'm glad I'm here. Glad I haven't departed from this fine world.
We're supposed to make a list of all the things we wanted to do in our lives before we Kick.The.Bucket. Cutesy.
There you go.
Is that a little Morgan Freeman-y type?
Little Morgan Freeman, Jack Nicholson, and that is the setup for today's idiom,
The
which
bucket
is
list.
Kick the Bucket. Yeah, the bucket list. Our idiom is Kick the Bucket. That movie is The Bucket List.
I feel moronic that I've never conflated those two things before.
Really?
You're just blowing my mind now.
That's literally that line right there.
I understand it now. Having a bucket list.
Things to do
before you kick the bucket.
Cutesy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel not smart right now.
Now our idiom is kick the bucket.
Kick the bucket.
But bucket list, is that connected? I figured we're probably never going to cover bucket list on its own because it literally comes from kick the bucket. So I have this clip. This is former President Barack Obama. Here we go.
After the midterm elections, my advisors asked me, Mr. President, do you have a bucket list? And I said, well, I have something that rhymes with bucket list.
You're going to like this.
I'm not sure this is good right now.
You trust me.
I do trust you.
It's
Take executive action on immigration? Bucket.
Uh-oh. That's President Obama. It's safe.
Wow. That's dancing on a line there.
That's dancing on the line. So yeah, bucket list comes
very different than dancing in the dark.
True.
Which is very different than a safety dance.
Which is very different than safety pin.
Or a flash dance.
That's even different.
Mm-hmm. That's more back onto the line again.
Yeah. There you go. Wow. Anyway, bucket list is not today's subject.
No,
Kick the Bucket is.
I had it in my head that I've always wanted to see, like go to China and see those terracotta warriors. That sounds really fun, like on the life bucket list.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
Oh, bucket like things that you just like want to do. I'm wondering if the bucket list now is going to start to get harder.
What do you mean? Oh, just for travel wise?
Yeah.
Well, we have a book at home that's called 1,000 Places You Must See Before You Die.
Okay.
And I'm like, and they're extreme. They're all over the world. But 1,000. I don't
sound
think
like a lot.
I don't
but
think
that's a
I
lot.
can get 1,000 things without the travel expenses done before I die.
Well, just say so as we approach 50, let's say you have 20 amazing like health years left. Like where you're like, okay, and then it starts to taper off
20.
a little.
I see what you're saying.
But then it starts to like, oh my, yeah,
You don't wanna
he's got a
travel.
bum hip. He can't walk upstairs now. Or,
Right.
you're like, fine, but you start to get a little maimed out in the 70 zone.
Right.
Something pops up. People start disintegrating, I
So
think.
sure, I got 25 years to do 1,000
You're gonna
things.
have to do one amazing thing a week.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not possible.
You need to start your bucket list like literally in your 20s.
when you're poor.
Yes.
Yeah.
You start knocking
if
things
you
off the list.
But that's also the age where you don't care if you're poor. Yeah, let's go to Europe. Do you have any money? No, that's all right.
Money.
I got a backpack,
Perfect. Let's go.
and then you get
Take it off into some abandoned ditch in Czechoslovakia and have your body part sold.
So is the terracotta, is that a legit, you would really like to see that?
I would have really liked to. I'm hope it's on the
not that I wouldn't
possibility.
want to see it, but I don't know that I would have even thought of it as I gotta go do that.
Terracotta war. I'm
See,
trying to
my
think of, like,
bucket
the
list would
unique
be simpler
things.
because I live in a little bit more of a reality zone where I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do all these things. So rather than list the specifics, I'd be like, I'd like to go to Australia once.
Yeah.
Not the things
But if
there.
you went to Australia, you would clearly want to do some things that, like, do you want to go scuba diving or snorkeling at the Great Barrier Reef?
No.
What?
But I do want to go to Australia.
You don't want to go to the Opera House?
Yeah.
Throw a boomerang.
There's something
with,
about scuba diving, though, or snorkeling.
It's not your thing?
Sharks.
Same.
A weird fear. I think we've talked about
I have
this.
the same irrational fear.
But
That
that
it's irrational, but it's still real.
yeah.
It's
A glass bottom boat over the Great Barrier Reef.
glass bottom boat. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make the world go round or something. Or
Glass bottom, my boat's got 'em.
So stupid. So, but if you're in Australia, you're going to want to go to the Opera House.
Yeah, or at least see it from a distance.
But then you're that close to New Zealand.
Yeah, I'd like to go to New Zealand.
See? Then, there's like, oh, they filmed The Lord of the Rings here, or this is the hottest hot spring in the world, and you're just like a couple 100 kilometers away.
But I'm just, me, you've been with me for some of these. I'm just as happy to see the largest ball of yarn in the world.
I'm on the way to other things. But
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Roadside stop.
Roadside
like,
Australia.
Muffler Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm in. So all of that. But Australia, there's going to be like guaranteed like didgeridoo lessons with the native.
now you're talking.
The native population or something.
I see. I've always, what little traveling I've done, I've always liked the less touristy thing and the more, what do these people actually do?
Boxing match with a kangaroo. Okay. I'm in.
Yeah. Like I'd rather
I
go
couldn't
to
punch a kangaroo.
somebody's backyard, throw shrimp on the Barbie, which apparently is not really Australian, but throw prawns on the Barbie.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It
They
is
just
now.
don't like it. Anyway,
But those types of things, you're going to want to. Not. No one wants to be mean to animals.
Okay.
Hey, I'm just saying, no one wants to.
correct.
So that's my preface to this whole thing that hasn't happened.
Okay.
So now, of course, you don't want to be mean to animals.
Of course.
of course. But if there's an opportunity to have a boxing match with a kangaroo,
Or any animal.
like a bear,
A horse.
a horse, I could take.
Blazing Saddles.
Oh yeah, Mongo.
But boxing match with, yeah.
I guess they
pick
go-
your animal. It sounds fun.
They got little arms
but
like a
nobody
T-Rex.
wants to be mean.
Little arms like a T-Rex.
Kangaroos?
But they got them mother
They're
legs.
ripped, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they look like they're on roids.
Yeah.
Definitely for sure.
Yeah, we would lose.
Yeah,
But it's
that's just
but
part
it's
of
a
the
great
story.
video.
That's just part of the story. Do you remember that time you got the snot beat out of you by a kangaroo? Wow.
Is there any animal
Let me tell you.
You wouldn't. Okay, a shark. I don't want to box a shark.
But
Back
if
to that.
your life depended upon it and it was coming at you, you'd punch it in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it was near you in any way. approaching you in a
But I don't want
manner.
a staged boxing match with a shark.
No,
but a kangaroo or a horse.
Well, if
or
it
a peacock,
I would box with a shark if it was like extreme shark
it's the
boxing,
most ridiculous.
like a cage match. I know. So,
that's great.
so yeah, that was one of the things that's looking on the list to be canceled for this year. I was supposed to do a trip to South Africa. Like when you've seen those videos of like sharks breaching, there's this place called Seal Island just outside of in South Africa, and this is where it all happens. And so on the schedule of things to do was to go cage diving with the sharks by the Seal Island.
See, that I would encounter a shark in that circumstance. I didn't.
But you must have seen like videos of sharks getting in.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Just that one off.
Something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. But anyways. So there's the bucket list. Kicking the bucket.
Let's kick the bucket.
Let's do it.
Let's not kick the bucket. But
there's other phrases like that. Like kick the can is way different.
Then kick. Well, that's funny.
Because you could have kids. They can run around and play a game. Well, let's play kick the can.
And then when you get older, you play kick the bucket.
It's not quite as fun when you're older. Kick the bucket. That's a good time.
Yeah, it's just a bigger can.
Well, it's like that game of more extreme tag where there's the can and you've got to get back. The guy's out looking for you, and if you can get back to the home base and kick the can, then you're safe.
But then if you kick the bucket,
then you're not safe anymore. Or you are safe, but like safe in the arms of Jesus, safe. Not like not safe in this world.
Correct.
Okay,
that's funny.
So having something like that. What about like spin the bottle? Is that in the same vein?
Well, it's another game you play with a container, with a vessel.
Container games.
Container games.
Spin the
kick
bottle.
The can, spin the bottle. Kick the bucket.
I guess varying stages of life, you play different container games.
Isn't really maybe like a point scoring game? Isn't that a container game? Like if you score in soccer, you put the ball in the container.
Like basketball.
Basketball's got a hole in it though, so it's more of a.
Well, so does a soccer.
No, it's got a backing to it. It's a container. It holds it there. It keeps the ball there.
I see.
A basket in basketball.
It's two-ended.
It's a tube. It's not even a basket. It's dangling mesh.
It's way less appealing when you put it like that, though. But at varying points of life,
nothing but dangling mesh on that shot.
At different points of life, it's like when you're a child, like playing kick the can.
Yeah.
And then as you become like a teen into the young adult, playing spin the bottle.
Yep.
And then the only thing after that is kick the bucket.
There's got to be something in between. Is there anything with a jar?
Well, you could spend, I guess, depending on how like old you are in life, that could be like one of your elderly ambitions is just opening a jar. It's like, I'm gonna retire and then just open this jar,
bottle, can, box. Yeah, I don't know. Those are the three. So
basically you go straight from spinning the bottle right into kick the can. So enjoy, everyone.
If you win on spin the bottle and you end up getting kicked in the can, you weren't supposed to play.
Kick the bucket. Yeah.
You might kick the bucket.
Yeah. So anyways, these are container games related to today's
How
idiom.
long can we talk about container games?
Well,
who would have ever thought? I'm so lost right now.
But if you're to play these games,
yeah,
I think there would be some advantage to being the guy that doesn't have any legs.
What?
Because people aren't going to pick on you, right? So you can still spin the bottle.
Yeah.
But people aren't going to pick on you when it's like kick the can, because it's like, oh, great, you beat a friend with no legs. Like, that's not fair. And you can't kick the bucket if you have no legs.
Is that the secret to eternal life?
Having no legs is the secret to eternal life. I don't know.
Because you can't kick the bucket.
That's funny. That's what Ponce de Leon was talking about, the Fountain of Youth.
It was amputation.
He had his legs taken.
Oh my goodness, what are we talking about?
Discovered eternal life.
So today's podcast is Kick the Bucket, which this episode did several minutes ago.
Come back to reality.
Okay, here we go.
I said some words, where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from mastermind. Origin!
Apologize for that. That jingle was on blast at first. That's going to sound funky in the end. All right. Well, what do you got for me?
As far as origins?
Yeah. Anything? Or should I take this one?
Well, the only thing I really discovered is I often put like 1 minute of interest into this portion in finding its actual meaning, because just the joy that comes across you of discovering it. Yeah.
That's fun.
And so I put like 1 minute in just so I have something to contribute.
All right.
But what I found wasn't really uplifting.
No, death and...
It was very death and suicide-y.
Yeah. Well, the phrase "kick the bucket" was first mentioned in the Dictionary of Vulgar Tongue. Again, a book and a reference that we've heard before, published in 1785, and defines it as simply as meaning to die, which we already said.
Hey, if you're looking for a Christmas gift for that we'll jointly share and use on the podcast,
The Dictionary of Vulgar Tongue?
Go ahead and find that. Yeah. Send it on over.
1785, first edition.
Signed.
I didn't write down the author. Maybe it's a collection. I can't remember.
What did it say there?
The Dictionary of Vulgar Tongue was the first place that had "kick the bucket" simply meaning to die. So let's get into potential origins. One theory, which you kind of hinted at, but there's actually not really a lot of evidence to support it, is that the phrase originates from the notion that people hanged themselves by standing on a bucket with a noose around their neck and then kicking the bucket out the way. Mm-hmm. And that's a pretty decent false origin. It's like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
like you kick the bucket out of the way and you die. But there's really no evidence for it. It's just somewhere along the way, folklore took hold of it and said it. That's
okay,
where it
fair
comes
enough.
from. In 16th century England, bucket had an additional meaning. Actually, in some parts of England, it still does. It still holds this meaning, which is a beam or a yoke that is used to carry or lift up items. And the term might have been introduced into English from a French, trebuchet?
Yeah.
Meaning balance, and another word, which is buque. I didn't look up the pronunciation, but that means yoke.
I think President Obama might have something
So
to say about
trebuchet, the spelling of those two, if you were trying to pronounce those in English and didn't know any better, you could get bucket out of either one of those. So they think that that's where the English word bucket, meaning yoke or to carry things on a wooden beam.
It's like a very mouth.
What?
It's like French for like a very mouth. That's very mouth.
What are we?
It's trebuchet.
Oh, I see. I thought you were playing on vermouth. Very mouth. Vermouth. I get it. Tray.
Boucher.
Bouche. Most etymologists will agree that the bucket refers to the kind of yoke that was used to hold pigs by the heels. Did you get into this?
No.
So pigs would get lifted by the yoke, by the bucket, to be slaughtered. So they get tied up by the heels, lifted up, and then the slit of their throat would be the way that pigs would get slaughtered, particularly used in parts of Norfolk. And so they say that the subsequent, in the throes of death spasms, the animals were kicking the yoke. They were kicking the bucket above them.
Oh, the throes of death spasm.
You like that?
That is very lyrical. Wow.
So they would kick the
You
bucket.
are a wordsmith.
They would kick the bucket that they are being tied to by the heels. So that is
Are
most
you gonna take
likely
any of your investigative work and put it to
when I go to Australia. When I go to Australia, I'm gonna see, or when I go to Norfolk, I'm gonna see these pigs strung up by a bucket and watch them kick it.
Wow, I guess you know what you
Kick
do.
it.
To the left, to the left.
Okay, let's see, what else do I got here? Okay, let me find my thoughts. Here you go.
I picked it clean of anything of value after Daddy kicked the bucket.
That is from the Umbrella Academy. Did you watch that series?
No.
Oh, it's decent.
No, I'm
a little obscure, but decent. Okay, as is the case with some other modern American English words, it's possible that this can credit its origins to African languages or dialects. So originally popularized, sadly, by blackface minstrels, kick the bucket could have come from a word kickaraboo, which just means dead. So it's slang for dead, kickaraboo. But also at the same time from
Kickaraboo.
Kickaraboo. That guy is Kickaraboo.
That sounds a little kitten caboodle-ish.
It does, actually. West African words this is what it comes from. The West African words kekre and bow. So kekre means stiff and bow means to end up. So to end up stiff, kickaraboo, kekre bow.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
You know where kitten caboodle comes from?
I can't remember. I think we talked about it once.
Like a lot of things. It comes from soldiers, supplies, and rations. They're kit and caboodle.
What's the caboodle part?
Other stuff that's not ration supplies.
So kit and caboodle comes from
I think it's a soldier.
kit and caboodle.
Yeah.
That's not a good enough definition.
I think it's something about soldier supplies. Soldier rations and supplies. They're
Caboodle.
they're kit and caboodle. I don't know what the word caboodle. Caboodle is French.
Well, I figured that kit could have meant a kit.
Could have meant a car that with artificial intelligence and a booster.
Fair enough. To finish the language part of it, also the Sierra Leone Creole,
Half a chocolate bar.
Kekaraboo, which is really close to, I think Kikaraboo and Kekeraboo is the same word with different dialects, but both mean dead, whether it's Creole or West African. That's where it could have come from.
End up like dead and stiff. You've been
If you end up stiff,
like what we would call somebody now
Kekeraboo,
who-
Kick.The.Bucket,
You just keep saying it. Look,
Kick.The.Bucket, Kick.The.Bucket. See?
see, that's where it comes from.
Kid and caboodle.
That one makes the most. That one makes some
Funny
sense.
enough,
I like the pig one.
yeah, that's the legit one, to be honest.
Is it?
That's the one where everyone lands
If
on.
we were playing like Balderdash, I would vote for
The pig one?
the pig one.
But wait, that's not all. There are some Catholics who hold hard and fast to wanting to stake their claim on "this came from us." Side theory suggests that the origin of the phrase comes from the custom of holy water buckets in Catholicism.
Okay.
After death, when a body had been laid out, the holy water bucket was brought from the church and put at the feet of the corpse. And when the friends would come to pray,
holy water bucket.
They would sprinkle the body with holy
That
water.
sounds
So the
like
bucket
a Monty Python
is at their
thing.
feet.
I bring to you the holy water bucket.
Yeah, he kicked the bucket. The bucket is at his feet as they sprinkle him with holy water. What else do I got here? Could also date as far back as the 16th century to a Latin proverb known as capra scirica, or scirica, which is found in the Emblemata, a collection of Latin proverbs published by Italian writer and jurist Alciati in 1524. So capra scirica reads this: because you have spoilt your fine beginnings with a shameful end and turned your service into harm, you have done what the she-goat does when she kicks the bucket that holds her milk, with her hoof quanders her own riches. Which is, in this case, it was metaphorical interpretation of the death of your own reputation. But it still was a goat kicking a bucket, resulting in the death of your reputation.
How about just that? How about an animal who perpetually, post-milking,
Kicks it,
kicks its own bucket?
and so you have to put it down.
You're just like, you're not being helpful anyways. All you do is consume, and you keep kicking the bucket.
You kick the bucket.
You kick the bucket.
You kick the bucket.
I could buy that.
So, yeah.
I'm into wildlife on this one.
Yeah, not that we want any wildlife to be harmed, but if you could box the goat that kicked his own bucket.
If I could box a goat. They got them weird rectangular shaped pupils.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, so that's not real.
I'm surprised that hasn't been in more horror movies all by itself.
Well, it's not good.
Okay, don't look at my screen. Do you recognize this?
Okay.
Oh, where is
On
it?
a sadder note, Pizza the Hut, famed half-man, half-pizza, was found dead earlier today in the backseat of his stretched limo. Evidently, the notorious gangster became locked in his car and
Ate himself to death.
Death.
Spaceballs.
That's right.
Mondo?
Whoever said when you see... Did you hear that? Pizza kicked the bucket.
There it is.
Before pizza takes a slice out of you.
Nice. Spaceballs. We were just talking about Spaceballs. Somebody was like, I finally watched. She's younger coworker. She'd never watched Star Wars because she was just that
That's not good.
just that little bit younger than us.
It's like I've never read the Iliad or Homer or these kids. All these kids.
Anyway, she watched all those, and I'm like, great, now you can watch Spaceballs. Just a blank stare. I'm like, no, you have to watch Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Nobody has to watch Baseballs, but
We've been jammed. What is it? Raspberry. Raspberry. Lone Star. No one gives me the raspberry.
wow. Wow. I can't believe how much you could quote from this movie. I remember.
That's
What's
a
your name?
classic.
Barf. It's short for Bartholomew.
I'm half dog, half man. I'm my own best friend.
John Candy. He's so good. Okay.
That's fun anyway. I was thinking of other games, but it's not a container game. It's Red Rover.
Yeah, no, it's
Which originally come from Red River, which is a cereal which used to come in a container.
did not.
Red River, Red River. We call high water flooding over.
Red River. Red Rover. Now you got me saying the wrong thing.
See?
Red Rover was a dangerous game.
Yeah, if you like having your arms dislocated.
It was brutal.
Your
when
shoulder
we
yanked
played.
out of the
That was
socket.
awful.
It's like, we call the smallest kid over.
Always.
Yeah. Just be like some lumbering giant come at you.
And then if you were the smallest kid,
That's where you
that's
go
where
for.
you were running through.
Right.
That was just a brutal game for that kid all the way around.
That's just, well, it's his fault for being small.
But then he ends up
Kinda-
in a body cast,
kinda
which
deserves
is
it.
kind of a container.
Kind of brought it upon himself by not working out.
By not working out. This is grade 5s.
Well, he probably had a nice, healthy diet and all these sorts of things. He wasn't like the regular tabos coming at you.
Yeah, you do.
Come on.
We need you, man.
Bag of chips.
I don't want to play.
Come on and play with us. Bag of chips.
Well, we got a little game to play. Speaking of games, backyard games. This is not a container game in any way, but it is a game we like to play called Riddle Inc. It is a game that has a 2-part trivia-based question that requires a 2-part but overlapping answer. So, for example, last week, which was our episode where we featured the idiom, "It's raining cats and dogs," you left our lovely Village Minute children with this one. "Feline nails are the police." You remember that? That was yours.
Oh, it's claw enforcement.
Claw enforcement.
I pluralized nails.
I know.
Yeah.
It's all right.
My bad out there.
We got a lot of...
That could be really confusing.
most
My bad.
people landed on claw enforcement, but we got claw and order. We got...
See, those,
claw. I'm
I'd
trying
give
to
it to you.
remember,
I'd give that to you.
There was a few guesses that
Those
were
are
all
clever.
They were all close enough.
I actually like claw and order better. That was, if that was you.
Claw
then
enforcement. Claw.
A shout out to you,
I can't remember the other one.
my villegitimate child.
So we got a little bit. Go back and forth with these, and we'll leave one for our illegitimate children again.
Okay, here we go.
You want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go. 1v1 shot at the soccer goal caused death.
1v1?
Shot at the soccer goal caused death.
1v1 shot at the soccer goal caused death. 1v1. Does that mean something? Do I have to know soccer?
No.
1v1. Is this Roman numerals?
No.
1 versus 1?
Yeah.
1-on-1? Shot at the goal?
Shot at the soccer goal caused death.
Oh, is it penalty kick the bucket?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. 1v1.
See, yeah, so I was trying to work the penalty kick, but then if it had just a bunch of people kicking.
I was trying to come up with kicks. I had drop kick as one.
That's a good
just
one.
wasn't lining up for me.
Anyway, I went with penalty kick.
All right, I got one
what
for
do
you.
you got?
You ready? Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman had an agenda before they died to try this mouthwash.
Bucket Listerine.
There it is.
That's fresh. That's fresh. Should be, what is it for them? Should be more like Efferdent or one of those types of things.
Jerry, I don't know.
Mandarin. Atrick. Riddle Inc number 2.
3.
2 from me. He died for this idiom. For a soldier's supplies.
You're hilarious. Was that whole backstory even true? I was wondering. I mean, it was a pretty good segue bringing in Kit Caboodle. I said Kick-a-raboo. You know, it sounds like Kit Caboodle.
I make it so natural that you don't even see it
were
coming.
So happy I said Kick-a-raboo.
It just makes it so that I don't have to insert it later.
Kick-The-Bucket and oh my goodness, this is a tongue twister. Kick the bucket and caboodle?
That's it.
Oh, wow. That's a tricky one. Kick the bucket and caboodle. Say that 3 times fast.
When I was looking on my phone because I was like, something came to mind. I was like, kitten caboodle. And it kept coming up with like kitten caboodle?
Right.
Like a kitten's caboodle.
Were you voice to text?
Yeah. What is a kitten's caboodle? I don't know. It's not good.
Nobody wants to know.
Okay.
All right, I got one more, but why don't you tell... We're going to leave this for everyone else to answer, so why don't you tell everybody how they can get a hold of us?
Sure, you can reach us at the.village.idiom on Instagram. DM us there or email thevillageidiompodcast at gmail.com, or whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at 3 Minutes Gone.
Great. You ready for this?
Yep.
This is a tricky one. Dying listening to this Bob Dylan song.
You got all the love, honey, baby, I can stand.
That's it.
Wow.
You either know it or you don't.
It's a don't know it. Oh, man. Well, that's something to ponder. We'll head to the Googles later and see if we can sort it out. It's been fun putting today's episode together.
Indeed.
And we hope you've enjoyed it as well. I am Skinny.
I am Jurassic Pale Punting Mark.
And these are the Village Idioms.
Long shot, kick your bucket.
It's 3 minutes gone.